Hey there everyone, Luke here, and with the anime fast approaching, I'm looking forward to seeing how the series is fully adapted of Witch Watch. I shouldn't say fully adapted, more like how it's actually going to be adapted and whether or not this will get new fans into the series. So that's what I wanted to say. For now, let's just talk about this chapter because, oh boy, I have quite a few things to say about it. So it's chapter 196 titled Hybrid Rainbow, and that is quite the appropriate chapter title if you really think about it, because as Pyjam said to me on Discord, this does seem like a hybrid of two chapters mashed together, and it does feel like this was the author's way of throwing the tiniest little bone that they could muster up for me in the hopes of getting that big Nemu arc. It does ultimately feel like that. But anyway, the chapter starts off with a colour page showcasing some of the major characters. Not sure exactly why Nemu isn't on here, because I mean she does play a part in this chapter, so why not include her? But anyway, it's obviously to commemorate the anime coming out this week, coming out on Sunday actually, and it's showcasing all the characters with ice cream. So we have Nico with strawberry, obviously we have Mori with I want to say mint, like, or maybe it's like a lime. We have Ban with mint. We have Mirio with chocolate. We have Keigo with orange, and then we have Khan with bubblegum. So weird choice of colours, but I guess these are the colours that the characters really love. So anyway, that was the chapter, chapter colour page, and now let's move into the actual chapter itself, where we start off with typical housemate arguments, and it's over the most pay things. We've all been there, all of us, when we're like, hey, why have you put this in here? This is my spot in the fridge. No, this is my spot in the fridge. This is my spot in the cupboard. Why have you taken this from my spot, my cupboard, and everything? It's kind of like those kind of arguments. We've all been there. I've been there when I was a student at university, way back in the day. Like, how long has it been now? Like, I'm 34 now, so 14 years since I've been in that. Like, wait, so 34, 24, so 23, 22, 21, yeah, 13 years. Well, 13 years since I finished university. That really has gone by in a blink of an eye. Like, well, I can't believe it. But anyway, point is that it's housemates having arguments, where we have Mori saying, whose decorative plant is this? Kay goes, don't leave it sitting out here. So he doesn't want to leave Keigo's decorative plant sitting out. Khan has borrowed Keigo's manga and is broken the spine. So he's like, what, Khan? Why wouldn't you treat others' possessions more carefully here? And then we have Khan saying to Mirio, like, how long are you gonna sleep in? What happened to our plan to hang up? So he's basically like, Mia, I've been awake for hours now, and you are still not even ready. How long are you even planning to sleep in here? Even though, despite the fact he's forgetting, like, oh, maybe he's a vampire, so of course he's not going to be up super early. And then we have, so it's kind of like a round circle of just like insult, of just like people, of just like the housemates just having collective issues with each other over the tiniest little things. So we have a planned manga, a schedule, and then we have Mirio saying, oh, Mori, you got spinach in my bento box yesterday. I thought we all agreed that I do not do spinach, and then we're getting the rebuttals to this, as we have Keigo saying in response to Mori, like he thought he could use the living room to green it up a little bit, like make it more like spinach. Yeah, to be fair, that is quite a boring living room, and a plant or something would really help to tie the room together. We have Mori going like, okay, fine, but you bought it, you take take care of it. I can already see you trying to foster. Oh, so Maury's like issue is not the fact that there is a plant there. It's the fact that Kegel's bought the plant and is not even taking care of it. Like, okay, Kegel, I've got to side with Maury here because you bought that plant. It's your responsibility to take care of it. Fair enough on that part, Maury. And of course, Miriam's just like, Con, you know I'm a vampire. You know I can't wake up. I can't wake up in the mornings. And but Con is just there like, then why were you the one who made plans to wait there to get on my... Do you know how many times you flaked out on me? And it's just these little little knickknacks and everything. Kind of like, not just housemates, but being a bunch of brothers as well, where you just have those tiny little things that your brothers doing where you just get in a petty argument over something. There's, fine, I'm not talking to you anymore. You've quit, go, fine, I'm going to go into my room. So now, because of all the petty arguments, nobody is talking to each other. They're just there being like, I'm not the one talking. I'm not the one talking. This sucks. My day's ruined. I'm in such a bad mood now. That's my life. Why are you talking to me? Stop talking to me. And then, of course, we have Khan with Kegel just being. Khan is just on the sofa and just like really stretching his legs out and probably bumping into Kegel's back. He's like, yeah, and he's like, hey, Carl, would you stop quitting? Would you stop bumping your knee on my back here? Back here. I think you owe me an apology. And Khan is just like a petulant little child, just like, what? I was sitting here, you bumped into me first. It's not my fault that I decided to take this spot, and it's my spot, and quit leaning over into mine. And it's again like those petty little arguments, like, this is my spot. It's like, I don't see your name on that spot. How is this your spot? Like, literally in quotations. It's everybody's sofa here. And then Maury's the one that sticks in. It's like, well, technically it's my house. You guys are living in my house rent free, so it's kind of technically my sofa. And everyone's just there like, oh, well, excuse you, Maury, before they go on and say, oh, great, here we go again. Maury's arrogance is showing off. Yeah, just because his family owns the house and technically it's his sofa doesn't mean that he has to bring it up all the time, all over again. And Maury's just there like, and Maury's like being like the responsible parent, well, responsible in quotations, like, oh, everyone just shut up, go to your rooms now. I don't want to talk to you guys. And Mira's just like, yeah, don't attempt to order us around when you kind of brought this on yourself. Well, we've brought it all on ourselves, but that's besides the point. And again, Maury's just like, oh, fine, do whatever you want. And then Mira's just like, see, you're still ordering some orders. It's like, what do you want, Mira? Do you want him to order you around or not order you around? Make up your mind here. And then just like, fine, we're going to do the line thing. Stretch all this out. You step over this line, you get in trouble. So I'm not going to step over my line. And it just gets really it just gets really to the point that when Charmy and Nico come in, they just see this, like, they just feel like the gloomy, like, oh my god, they all go into a fight again. What is going on here? We can see it. We can see the petulating off them. And again, I do like that Charmy is now that she's ever since she's been introduced, she's not like a secondary side character. She's essentially become part of the main cast of the series at this point. Well, in part two in this case. And I do hope that when Nico does get back to her adult form, she can teach Charmy a thing or two about spells and witchcraft. That would be quite an interesting twist to go on here. Like, Nico, who is the student to Charmy, ends up eventually becoming the teacher to Charmy when she gets back to her proper age. So yeah, they've all gone into a fight, and Charmy and Nico and Ban are just there like, what the heck is going on here? What happened here? It's practically a rumble of dark horror going on here. So seriously, guys, what exactly happened? And of course, no one is talking at this point. So Nico and Charmy are just like, yeah, so whoever speaks up is the first one that's going to lose. Is that what they're thinking? And I love that Charmy is like being the responsible one here. Like, what are they, 5? Like, which is kind of ironic considering they're supposed to be the kids in this situation. Now the adults are being like, oh, we're having an adult conversation here, but it's more like a petulant argument than an adult conversation. And they notice the masking tape and everything. It's before they conclude like, oh, it's probably for marking territories, and anyone calls it gets fined. And Charmy is like, okay, no, they are seriously acting like 5-year-olds at 5-year-olds at this point. Before we have Slump saying before we have Slump going over to Murray, finding out what he wants, and it's and him saying like, "Oh, this is my house, but he's stolen, but they've stolen chunks of it for themselves. This is an awful possession of a real estate." And Charmy at this point doesn't even know like what that even. She's like, "What does that even mean?" Like, seriously, are you really that petulant that you're going to be like, okay, I'm not speaking to these guys, but I can't kick them out, but at the same time, they've come here, wait for you, so what am I going to do? Like, she's like, seriously, boy, grow up before we have Khan and Kago getting at each other's throats again, just because Kago has put his hand over Khan's area of the sofa, because it's like the classic old, the sofa splitting off. It's like, that's your side of the sofa, this is my side of the sofa, you stay on your side of the sofa, and of course Kago's just there like putting his hand on Khan's face. It's just like, how dare you, you've got your hand on my face, get it off, get it off, get it off. Before we get to see like probably the angriest they've ever gotten in the series. And Charmy at this point is like, oh my god, can you guys, these fights are just incredibly pointless. If you're all going to do this fights, why don't you go like, basically repeating what Murray said, like, if you guys are going to fight, just go to your rooms. And at this point, Brad is just saying, like, are you seriously going to fight on whoever's territory is? There'll be no means to an end. Before Nico has the spell to perfectly sort this out, and at the same time, they're all terrified, but they won't say anything. They just don't want to look uncool about saying, like, no, we really don't want to go through with this. So she uses what is called the paintation. So now with her hand, she can basically paint things into existence, which that seems like an OP spell in and of itself. So like I said, Nico goes on to explain the spell that you cast the spell on a body part and then you can write in the air. The writing solidifies and hangs in there in the air for a while. So yeah, basically painting things into existence. Kind of a bit OP. Now granted, it doesn't last forever, but still, pretty damn OP. This is like One Piece levels of OP, if I do say so myself. So she uses this to create walls that separate each of the boys into areas of the sofa. And Charmy's like, oh, you made a pentation wall. Now they can't accidentally touch each other's territory before they realize like, oh no, this is something more serious than we were led on to believe. They look like customers at an interim ramen. They basically look like customers at a ramen shop, separate from each other just to enjoy their bowl of ramen by themselves. Whatever this is their problem. Let's go and play in your room, Nico. Like, Charmy's just there, like, thinking, like, yeah, something is going wrong, but they've done this to themselves, so let's just go and play it in your room. And we get what they're all actually thinking is like, they wish this fight was over. So like, they've had their petty arguments, like, and now that they've calmed down, they're like, yeah, why were we even fighting in the first place? As Murray says, like, oh, I can't break this awkward silence, and these walls have made it even worse. What the hell even is this? The only sound in the room is everyone clearing their throats. So, like, so obviously they're all trying to be like, you talk first, no, you talk first, no, you talk first, no, you talk first. And Murray keeps on going with his inner monologue, saying, damn it, I can't take much more of this. Just someone say something, please. Just break this silence. I don't care what it is. Do something. And this is where Kago actually does break the silence when he gets a text off Nemu, which makes sense. I would say out of all the cast members, like, Kago and Nemu are like the closest thing to best friends that we've actually got. Like, outside the family, like, Kago and Nemu I would say like are our best friends, in the same way I would say like Kana, when Nico was in her regular teenage form, was like Nico's best friend. So yeah, I would say that would be the case. So, but this is where it becomes like, okay, yeah, this part with Nemu so easily could have been its own chapter and could have been the start of a big Nemu arc. Maybe it is like, maybe they're testing the waters of like, can Nemu on her own sustain like a serious arc, or maybe it's like, oh no, this is really getting into like, okay, we're getting more and more of Nemu, like getting more of her lore, more of her backstory. So maybe it is kind of leading into that moment of like, we're getting close to that big Nemu arc. But yeah, this just seems like, I would say this does feel like a bit tacked on, and this whole thing about the argument could have easily been stretched out for just this one chapter, and then maybe this part with Nemu with Keiko getting text from Nemu could have been the cliffhanger to the chapter. I just feel like that should have been the case right here. So anyway, they're like, oh, we have to talk, and they're like, oh, need advice more years. Like Nemu's just text me, and we do actually get the reveal of like what the text is all about. It's focusing on her grandmother, which I think this is the first time we've actually mentioned the Nemu's grandmother. Like, this might actually be before we've mentioned Nico's grandmother, which just shows like, oh no, that like they're building something with Nemu right here. The fact that we're getting her grandma before we get Nico's grandma, and we actually do get to see Nemu's mother in this chapter, in the present storyline for the first time in the series. Like, she doesn't say anything, but just for that, like, she's actually there. Like, they're just planting the seeds now of like, oh, you want the big Nemu arc. You guys want the big Nemu arc. I seriously still want Nemu in the house. But anyway, the lore behind her grandmother is that obviously she was a witch herself, and obviously a shapeshifter. Makes sense. Like, Nemu comes from this whole line of shapeshifters, but now she's getting older. She doesn't have the power for it anymore. And I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, she's basically on her last legs and very close to leaving this plane of existence. She's too frail to do much else. The only thing she had to look forward to every day was doting on her cat Leonard. But Leonard passed yesterday, and yeah, I know all about that. I know all about that when Maisie and Poppy passed. I know all about that. They've gone over the rainbow, which is where the name of the rainbow the title Hybrid Rainbow comes into play. Like, because Nemu's grandmother, she promised Leonard like, oh, we would go over the rainbow bridge together. So she essentially wanted to die with her beloved pet, which, oh, that'll get you right. That'll get you right in the feels right there. They say that when a pet passes, they cross a rainbow bridge, but poor Leonard wasn't all that steady on. Oh, okay. To get a little bit serious, like before Maisie passed, like she really was not steady on her feet, and I'm sorry, guys. Like, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Yeah, I miss them both. I really do miss them both. Like, they were just such lovely. Like, Poppy came to us from my grandfather, lived out the rest of her days here. Amazing. God bless her soul. Got her when I was 13 years old. She passed when I was 33, so we had her for, I mean, she was 90, but she was going to be 20 when she, in the October before she passed, but she passed in, at the end of April, beginning of May, like, around that time, like, and yeah, like it says here, Leonard, like Maisie, when she passed, wasn't all that steady on his feet, and I can imagine that was because Leonard was probably an old cat, just like her grandmother. It would make sense that Leonard was probably given to her grandmother when she was in her 60s, and she's probably in her 80s at this point. Now I could be wrong, but she does seem like around that age, like 80 years old. Nico and Nemu's grandmother is starting to worry if he'll ever make it across the raid. That when it's her time to go, he won't be there on the other side for it. Like, oh my god, that'll just get you in the. That will just really get you in the feels. So a while later, they're outside with Nemu. Like, yeah, Nemu is there, and they actually see Nemu's grandmother with her mother before they're going to cast the spell, which is basically like they're essentially going to make a rainbow bridge. Nemu's going to turn into a cat to represent Leonard, and have her grandmother get some comfort to assure, like, yes, Leonard is on the other side, waiting for you for when your time comes. So that's essentially the plan they're going with, and Kao's like, oh, are you sure this will work, Nico? And Nico's like, yeah, I'll cast paintation on our whole bodies. We can pick whatever colours we want to be. The problem is the fly wing spell. I set up a barrier stretching across the river, but whether we can all move in sync or not. So it's basically like to not only get like the spell working, they all have to be in sync with each other, so no more fighting essentially. So Murray's like, everyone listen, we can't practice this, we've only got one shot at this, so we have to put all our differences aside for this moment to help Nemu out. And I do like these moments, like when they all can be like, okay, we've got a friend here, she needs our help, and so we need to be friends towards her. I do like that. Like they always find a way to include Nemu in their group, no matter what. And this is just making me want Nemu in the house all that much. Like this would have been so much more powerful if Nemu was in the house. Like if Nemu came in with Charmy and Ban and Nico and saw the gloominess, and she was like, oh my god, this is perfect, like, and it just segues into that. This would have made it much more streamlined if Nemu was actually in the house. But point is that they know they can do this, and yeah, we're all totally different people, all our own colours, so to speak. But when we all come together, we're invincible. Basically, say like, yeah, we all have our differences, but when push comes to shove, we can do anything as long as we're a team, because we are a team. And so everyone together, holding hands, is able to create the rainbow. And Nemu's grandmother just sees this, and it's like, oh my, and Nemu is able to transform into the cat and pass over the bridge. And again, this is why I feel like Wolf has not been needed at this point, because she's like, they already know I'm a shapeshifter, so there's no point in keeping this a secret. And the fact that she's turning into a cat right now means that, yeah, this secret is going to come out. Like the whole time when she was in the house, when the cat was in the house, that was her. Like, it's obvious that she's going to bring this up at some point to everyone. So yeah, she turns into to a representation of Leonard. Nemu's grandmother sees it, and she's like, oh, he's crossing the bridge. Oh my goodness, he made it all right. I feel much better now that he's waiting for me on the other side. As Nemu is just incredibly grateful for everything they've done, and she thanks everyone as it was super awesome teamwork. Before she notices like the aura that's going off on everyone, she's like, what is even the problem here? And everyone starts to apologise for everything as we conclude the chapter with the phrase, boys are so awkward. So, yeah, obviously a chapter of two halves. Both of them work fine separately. I just really wish, like, I do understand Polyjam's plight here, that this does feel like two different chapters that the author really wanted to do, and I do feel like if he had just gotten Nemu in the house so much quicker, this could have been streamlined so much better, because this would have made it perfect for Nemu to sort out the problem here if she was just in the house. And I feel like they were just really throwing me like the tiniest little bone I had for wanting Nemu to be in this house, and probably testing the waters. But like, will Nemu work well being in the house with everyone? Like, it just feels like and it really does feel like they're really setting up, like, okay, Nemu's big arc is coming. We've seen her grandmother, we've now seen her mother in the present day, like, Nemu's big arc is coming. I can just feel that. I can feel like on the edge, but like that's gonna be like, if not the next series arc, very, very soon it'll be like one of the serious arcs. So anyway, like I said, I did enjoy this chapter, but it did feel like it could have benefited from being two separate chapters. Maybe like the Leonard Nemu stuff could have been expanded a little bit more. I mean, it was touching, it was emotional, but I really feel like had we seen her grandmother earlier with Leonard, that would have made it a little bit more impactful. But hey, it's what it is, and like I said, hopefully this is leading into the big Nemu arc. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.